Going to say hello to, oh, there you are. Hello, YouTube. It's nice to see you too. I am the newly remodeled Sister Boonity. Some might think my hat is going to get all the attention tonight. Yeah, hold on a moment. Ugly apartment wall edge. Wait, well, Sister Boonity adjusts. Is better? Hardly. Sister Boonity adjust again. Good enough. Don't pay attention to tiny triangle. Well, it is pity Sister Boonity has set up. Oh, now camera is visible to people on YouTube. Okay, never mind. People on Instagram must suffer the apartment wall. You know, I'm getting awfully old to be this terrifying. Why is Sister Boonity wearing sari? Well, it is a scary night, so it is a terribly sorry. Sister Boonity cracked herself up. Sorry is because tonight is not only Halloween. Does anybody out in the audience know what else it is tonight besides Halloween? Show of hands? Just kidding! I cannot see you! Type in message. Sister Boonity, not wish Sister Boonity had one necklace or scarf besides human heads. Yeah, we do this and make scarf. There. Sister Boonity is no fan of plunging neckline. Why? Because he's sexy. Sister Boonity is here to scare you, not to sex you up. Sister Boonity having trouble between wheels on Sister Boonity's chair and bottom of Sister Boonity's sari. Get out from under there. Wardrobe malfunction. Very scary. If you are Janet Jackson. Right. So, we're going to start storytelling in a little bit, but first we get to know each other, get comfortable. Maybe Sister Boonity answers questions that you may have about Sister Boonity. Yes, you have questions. Type in, feel free to ask. I see Instagram, lots of people starting to chat. You like my name, Sister Boonity. I am, in fact, only existing in one night every year. This night, October 31st, Hallows Eve. All the other 364 nights, I am somebody else. Okay, we do like this. No, did you get it? You get what I'm saying? Yeah, 2 words, yes. Sounds like hat. This is not a hat. Aha! For those of you who know the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, you know, this is not a hat. What is it? And importantly too, who wears it? Do you know who wears this? Not hat. Just like I am not. Wait. This is on social media. I have to be careful of what I say. I am not unalived I am unalived, because I can't say undead. Oops. So I have to say I am unalived. But you know, Sister Boonity puts the nun back in unalived. Okay, did you get what I am telling you? Hoobie! Yes, that is right! Sister Special K! It is a hoobie, except not tonight. Ha ha! Can you guess what it is called? Tonight, on this night, October 31st, Sister Special K. Sister, come on, I want to lay you. That is her name. Bette Midler fan, yes? Yes, that is right. Another sister guest, a coronet from the LA Sisters. But tonight, I'm not going to call this not hat. Is a coronet. It is not hat, not coronet. It is also not hoobie. Yes, Sister Special K from Dallas, Texas, who now lives in the city of, I can't say it, I'm evil tonight. It is a booby. Now, let me be perfectly clear. This is not a booby. This is a booby. This is a movie. If you want to be gender specific, and who does? But it is not a booby because it's on my head. Only person with booby on head is running for president currently. And I'm not talking about the pretty lady. This is a booby. You see the difference? Booby. Booby. It is like you are trying to scare insect out of making honey. Booby. Everybody understood. Very good. Sister Boonity has many smart people. Back to game of charades. Sister Boonity existing one night only. All other nights, Sister Boonity is not taking possession of this body, and this body manifesting as and anyone get it? I wait for messages because electrons are very fast, but not fast enough that I can see your response to what I am doing for like a minute. In meantime, I introduce you to my pet, one of the children of the night. Okay, it is not child of the night so much as the child of the dinner time. But it is from East Coast. Tastes like caviar. Yes! Yes, Sister Sydney! Yes, you are correct! The other 365 days I am what you typed there in the messages. I cannot say it because it is a name filled with goodness and light. Sister Boonity is pure evil. How can you tell I am evil? Because I torture you with prolonged dialogue about nothing very interesting. Boo. Boo. Okay. Just a moment. Sister Boonity is going to prepare to tell stories. Sister Boonity is in need of liquid refreshment. What will Sister Boonity have to drink in tarnished hour of satisfyingly refreshing beverage? What on this dark Halloween night will Sister Boonity drink? Do you care to guess the liquid? Go on. You can type. Blood. Yes, and you have spelled it in a very Eastern European fashion. I am much appreciating this. Sister Boonity will drink the blood of a Siamese cat. Just a kidding. It's a tax accountant. Sister Boonity inherited last year. Drove taxes up. This is blood of IRS person. I may be terrifying, but I'm not going to mess up my pretty lips. Type A, which is surprising for IRS person. Usually they're not type A. They are followers, not leaders. That was a blood type joke on Halloween! That's not that funny. Would you like to see what Sister Boonity has done to the other nuns' rubber chicken? Are you curious what has happened to the ever-present rubber chicken that belongs to the orange nun whose Hubi I have corrupted and turned into Satan Hubi? Whoever guessed water, you're not familiar with Sister Boonity. Here, I present to you now what is left of the other nun's rubber chicken. Its blood was very tasty, although a little chewy, being it was made of rubber. Word to new vampires: if you're drinking blood, don't bite rubber chicken. You get mouthful of petroleum product. Not recommended. This is all that is left of the rubber chicken. And if you are not nice on, I don't know, Hanukkah, Sister Boonity will turn you into a plastic skeleton and sell you at Hobby Lobby, homophobic company with art supplies. Ha ha! Homophobia is even more evil than I am! Fuck you, homophobes! Also, you may be having question, Sister Boonity, the other nun on this channel, usually she is wearing peace symbol earrings. Clearly, you are so evil for the peace sign earrings. But what is that on your ear? Eh? What is Sister Boonity wearing? Again, like in so many questions, it is not what, but who. Boo. This one was Peter Dinklage's character on Game of Thrones. This one, Gimli from Lord of the Rings. He lost weight. What? They were old. They had to go sometime. Why not flay them and preserve skeleton for lighthearted entertainment on holiday evenings? Seems practical to me. But I saved Gimli's foot. It was so cute. I tried to save Hobbit foot, but they are twice the size and they have hair on this part. I'm not saving foot with hair. Lord almighty, hobbits. You ever tried to drink the blood of a hobbit? It tastes like kiwi fruit. Blech. All right, so then, we were starting to talk about, and Sister Boonity got way off track. This is not new phenomenon. Wait, hang on, big message on the YouTube. I look down to laptop to engage with YouTube viewer. Hello, YouTube viewer down here. Hello, dear. You're talking to a sister that I am not. There are two messages on the YouTube. Hello, YouTubers. But you are speaking to the sister who is here when I am not here. I am Sister Boonity with a B. Boonity. Boo. Boo. It's Halloween. Boonity. The other one will be back tomorrow on, I can't say name of day. All day. I can't say, yeah, it's about 2.5 hours south of here is Day of the Dia de los Muertos. No, I'm not a sugar skull. The Sister Boonity just has receding eye sockets, like skull. So you remember listening to, yes, the fairy tale that other nun made up when it was first uploaded. It was great comfort to me back then and is now. We're doing great work. This message is beautiful, and therefore it is not for Sister Boonity. It is for other do-good goody two-shoes orange nun who has fat ass. Sister Boonity is here to wreak havoc and make you feel like the monster under the bed is going to unravel the waistband of your underwear. So, tonight, Sister Boonity is not at her most evil. Why, you ask Sister Boonity? Eye sockets look Jack Skellingtonish. Hooby Dooby has been turned into devil color. You have famous actors on your ears. Why? You're like Goddess Kali are wearing skulls of evildoers. Why are you not at your evilest? Can anyone take a guess why Sister Boonity is not at her most evil on this particular October 31st? Anyone? I pause for messages to catch up, so I see your guesses. No, it is not because need to change diaper on baby hamster. That is generous act of kindness. Sister Boonity, not that good. It is because tonight is not only Halloween, the night of Sister Boonity's birth, life, and death, all in one night. I'm a quickie. Tonight is also the sacred Hindu holiday of Diwali, or depending on what part of India you are from, Deepavali. Diwali, Deepavali, and a few other names in other languages, same thing. What is Diwali, you ask Sister Boonity? Diwali is holiday sacred to Goddess Lakshmi. Here she is. You have the darshan of the goddess. This is Goddess Lakshmi, you know, because she holds lotus. She is seated on lotus as well. In fact, sometimes her name is used in association with Sanskrit word Padma. Padma, P-A-D-M-A, Padma. Padma means lotus. We put Lakshmi down here. And here is lotus associated with Goddess Lakshmi. Lotus, because the flower is beautiful and it grows out of the muck. I am the muck, and I will tell you the story of Goddess Lakshmi, and that will be the flower that grows out of the muck. But before I tell the story, I teach you how to honor this goddess properly on Diwali. I have put her over here, down on little table altar, which YouTubers, you can see the top of her, but people on Instagram, you are shit out of luck. I'm not going to reframe the camera for this. Tough luck. If there are children watching that in the other dimension from which Sister Boonity comes, this is a gesture of goodwill and friendliness. If you are homosexual, it is definitely friendliness with benefits. So, to honor Lakshmi, you clean your house. Sister Boonity has not cleaned this house. But then it does not belong to me. I'm only here for Halloween. Other nun gets in trouble. You get a pair of new clothes. You wear new clothing. Sister Boonity is wearing new clothing. And you do what they call puja. Not booja, but puja. P-U-J-A, puja. And doing puja, you use candle. This is Western style candle. You can use small clay lamp with ghee. Ghee, like you know what ghee is. Ghee is not what you say when you see amazingness of Sister Boonity. Ghee, you're beautiful. No, ghee is Ghee. It is clarified butter. With wick, with little cotton wick in ghee and lamp. But I use candle. It's going to be easier. You notice Sister Boonity not wearing veil tonight because Sister Boonity not desiring to go up in the flames. So you light the candle and you are going to wave the candle to the picture or the statue, murti, we call it in Sanskrit. You're going to wave it to the goddess Lakshmi to honor her, to say, I'm bringing light to you in honor of light you bring to me. But Lakshmi's statue is over here and camera is over here. So I use Kashmir Shaivism, the philosophy of Northern Indian Hindu philosophy, which teaches that non-duality. There is Nashivam Vidyate Kwachit. That's the phrase. Nashivam Vidyate Kwachit. There is nothing that is not, well, Shiva in Kashmir Shaivism, but you can take any god or goddess or consciousness or the universe or the absolute, up to you. Your concept of the transcendent truth. Tonight, it is Lakshmi. And as everyone and everything is Lakshmi, I do puja to Lakshmi in the form of you. You are the transcendent truth. You are made of Goddess Lakshmi, of Chitti Shakti, the sparkling energy of consciousness is who and what you are. Do you know this? Do you experience it in your heart? If you do not, it will take a lot of practice. That is yoga. But tonight, I don't care. I honor Lakshmi in the form of you. And you also make auspicious by ringing bell. So here we go. I worship the goddess Lakshmi, who exists within you as you. That does not mean you are some holy goody goddess. It means that the goddess exists exactly as you are, not different, with all of your shitty parts and all of your beautiful parts and all of your meh parts and all of your clever but not always parts. Every part of you is exactly who the goddess wants to be. The goddess is very amused to be everything and everyone exactly as they are. From a fancy car, to a fancy dinner, to a lotus, to a piece of shit, to vomit, to a snake, to a hamster, to you, and to the pillow you sleep on. There is nothing in the universe but the goddess, and I am honoring the goddess in the form of you. Now I put the candle near her so she can toast marshmallows. There will be marshmallow toasting. Now I will tell you this story that they tell on Diwali, the holiday honoring this goddess Lakshmi. It will be the story of her origin. How did Lakshmi appear in the universe? But first, I invoke her sacred Gayatri mantras. Bear with me. Sadguru Nath Maharaj ki jai. Om Mahalakshmi cha vidmahe Vishnu Patni cha dhimahi Tanno Lakshmi prachodayat. Sadguru Nath Maharaj ki jai. Every god and goddess has this form of this mantra, the Gayatri mantra. 3 lines, you just take out the name, put in the other guy's name. Those were to Lakshmi. So Lakshmi, this goddess, who is she? She is the goddess of auspiciousness, beauty, abundance, both wealth and food and every other kind of abundance. She is the sparkle of the sequin. She is the integrity and prestige of the noble priest or priestess. She is the resources, monetary, intellectual, emotional, of the clever witch and the kind lover. When you see a waterfall, it is sacred to Lakshmi. When you see a spider in nature making a web, it is a form of Lakshmi. When you see beauty in a face, in a flower, in an action, it is that form's aspect of Lakshmi. She lives inside of your heart, inside of a little blue pearl of light, in a lingam, in the chakra, anahat, the heart chakra. This is what they say in Hinduism. Sister Boonity is iconoclastic and atheistic, but knows a lot about Hinduism because the body I possess every Halloween is a know-it-all busybody. Excuse Sister Boonity, I need non-blood liquid refreshment. Very good. The story of the origin of Lakshmi, told on the night of Diwaloween. The gods stay immortal by drinking Amrit, A-M-R-I-T. Amrit is the nectar of immortality. Much like Sister Boonity drinks her nectar of immortality. Much like Sister Boonity dies soon because she runs out of nectar of immortality. If one of you is a Twinkie, come over. I'll be your sugar daddy, give you lots of money. Suck your blood. Because I need more. So the gods have run out of their Amrit. The golden elixir of immortality is gone. Poof. Greedy bastards, they drank all the whole thing. What to do? They, of course, all the gods. Agni, the god of fire. Vayu, the god of wind. Indra, the king of the gods, the god of the storms. They go to Lord Brahma. Brahma, the creator of everything in the universe. They go and say, Brahma, auspicious God who grants boons. It is like boonity, but it's a good thing, and so it is not like boonity. You grant a boon, so we want a boon. Brahma says, what is this boon? God say, we need more Amrit, make us more Amrit boon. Brahma said to gods, SOL gods, you're going to have to go and find it yourself. God say, where is Amrit, nectar of immortality? Brahma says, it is at the bottom of the ocean of the milk of consciousness. Just a word on Hindu mythology. You can take it literal if you want. Why not? People in the West take their religions quite literally. They have this book, you've heard. But Sister Boonity follows Joseph Campbell, who says, like Carl Jung, Jung, where I come from, the myth is a roadmap to your own consciousness. So when you listen to story, you can figure out what parts of my being, of my consciousness, is this story talking about. For example, there is an ocean of the milk of consciousness. Does this mean that if you join the expedition of flat earth people going to look for edge of world, true story, they think it's down by Antarctica, don't tell them, let them find out. You can go and see if at edge of world there is a big white ocean made out of milk. I'm telling you, is metaphor. The ocean of the milk of consciousness is the unindividuated, unperturbed, not thinking of anything specific consciousness that is your own awareness. It is the universe at its base level. So Brahma says at the bottom of this, you find the Amrit. God said, okay, we don't have scuba gear. We are ancient gods. Has not been invented scuba gear. How do we get Amrit from bottom of ocean of milk of consciousness? Brahma says, you must find a way to churn the milk and cause currents to draw up what is at the bottom and bring to surface. Gods go, okay, project. They go and they get the sacred mountain, Mount Meru. Mount Meru, they lift off the earth, bring over and set into ocean of milk of consciousness. However, his mountain don't float. Don't know if you notice, mountain don't float. On milk or water, float on magma. But this is called crust and mantle. It's whole plate tectonic thing. Not going into now. Different holiday. Call me next May on Earth Day. So they said mountain in ocean of milk, of consciousness. Mountain going to sink. What to do? Vishnu, the god Vishnu, has this power to change his body. And so he changes his body into ginormous turtle. Tortoise is the one on the land. Turtle is the one in the ocean. FYI. Thanks, Sister Boonity, by donating money to Sister Boonity's favorite charity, Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. You can do so by going to LASisters, plural, .org. Click on donate. In the menu, donate, go to donate page, make donation. This is give you good karma. That way, when you die, Sister Boonity does not have to drag you down to hell. Pleasant thing. Back to Hinduism. So Vishnu dives into ocean, changes body into ginormous turtle, and puts Mount Meru on back of shell. And does this with flippers and keeps Mount Meru in the milk but not sunk, sort of half in, half out. That is going to be the churning paddle. Gods then go and they get something to turn the paddle. What is long like rope but is as long as ocean that we can use? Just then, the king of the Nagas are the serpents. Unlike other Western religion, snakes not so scary. Snake is representing Kundalini Shakti. Everyone's Shakti, energy, spiritual energy in their body is their Kundalini Shakti. And because it works up through the body in the channels called nadis, they say it looks like a snake. Sister Boonity sounded Italian for a moment. Europe. So the king of the Nagas says, you can use my body. Wrap me around the mountain. Pull my head. Pull my tail. We'll turn the mountain. And so this is what the gods decide to do. But the gods say, we are not strong enough to split our numbers into two parts and have one on each side and pull. We can do that, but it is not enough gods to pull such a big mountain. We need help. But who can help us? The human beings cannot help us. They are human beings. And as strong as they think they are not actually. Only people as strong as we, devas. Deva is the word for a god in Hinduism. D-E-V-A. For a goddess like Lakshmi, Devi. D-E-V-I. Deva, Devi. Got it? Good. Because now I tell you the opposite. The devas say Only people strong enough like the Devas are the Asuras. Anyone out there know what an Asura is? I look for a message. Anyone? No one message? Hi, waving people. I wave back to you. Hello. Ugh, ugh. Friendly gesture makes evil Sister Boonity feel like fart. No one knows what Asura is. Okay, everyone has fallen asleep. Mission accomplished. Okay, good night, everybody. Oh, wait, no, there is someone. Hello! Again. You want to get salad? I don't know. Asura is Sanskrit word for opposite of devas, the opposite of the gods, demons! Once again, sister, come on, I wanna lay you is correct. You get special prize. You get to go to have Thai food with other sister who is not here right now. That is good price. She's not paying for you. You just get to go be with her. Isn't that good price? So the demons are the Asuras, and the Devas, the gods. They say, we can only get the help from the demons. But they say to themselves, how do we talk to the demons to help us? They hate our guts. I know specifically there is one particular demon that hates me, Varuna, the god of the ocean. He hates my anus, not just my guts, but even my anus. He's terrible. But the gods go, and Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge and the arts and wisdom and music, she goes and talks to the demons and says, so here is the thing. We need to get the Amrit, and we're going to churn the ocean of the milk of consciousness using Mount Meru and the king of the Nagas. But it can only be done if you help. They can only have the strength of both the Devas and the Asuras, the gods and the demons, to pull. Will you help? And the demons say, fuck you gods. Yeah, you are always trying to kill us. You don't let us take over the earth. You don't let us wage war on you and kick you out of heaven and take all of your gold. So screw you. Why should we help you? We are demons. We spit on your footwear. The gods know the demons. They understand. Anyone care to guess in a Carl Jung sort of way what the demons represent in this story? What is the metaphor for the map of human consciousness here? What part are they playing? Anyone care to? You went to refry your beans. I don't know if that is a food reference or a sexual reference, but I know you have husbands, so could be either or both at the same time. Anyone? What do demons represent in this tale? Anyone? Typing? Typing on your phone? Sister Boonity, wait. Okay, doesn't matter. Only 5 of you on Instagram, 3 of you on YouTube. I tell you anyway. The demons are, of course, the ego, the part of your mind that thinks that it knows what it is and thinks it knows what everything else is. Who you think you are, not who you actually are, which we have established is the Goddess Lakshmi. So the gods know the demons. They know how the ego works in the demons. And they say, okay, here's the deal. At the bottom of the ocean, there's lots of goodies. There are gold and jewels, and there are magic items. And when we churn the ocean, all of the currents are going to bring all of these things to the surface. And you can have them all, except maybe a couple, but you can have all kinds of the gold. We give you all of the gold. We just take the Amrit, you can have so many other things. And the demons say, well, as long as we get emeralds, rubies, tanzanite, and gold, we are happy to help. So they go to either side of the ocean of the milk of consciousness. And they each take up the head and the tail of the king of the Nagas. And they pull, and they pull, and they pull, 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 pull. And the sacred mountain Meru turns and turns and turns. And as it turns, it pushes the milk in the ocean of the milk of consciousness. And the milk makes currents, and the currents swirl against each other, and they start to bring up what is at the bottom of the ocean of the milk of consciousness. And what do you think is the first thing that rises from the bottom? No, it is not a cream pie. That is not the bottom I am talking about here. Get your mind from gutter, put back in goddess space. From the bottom of the ocean comes up first a gigantic bubble of dark poison. The crap that has been down festering at the bottom of the ocean. That dark, benzene-filled, petroleum poison bubble that should have been left down underneath and not brought up where it poisons everything. It comes up to the surface, and just as it is breaking on the surface and its gases are going to kill all life in the three worlds. They always talk about the three worlds in Hinduism. Is heaven, is earth, is the demon world. Where is demon world? It's not underground like is in Western religion. The demon world is New Jersey or I don't know, Liechtenstein or something. So what it's going to poison everybody, this poison. But Lord Shiva, the one who sacrifices by meditation, he quickly scoops up all the poison and he drinks it down so it will be inside of him and not kill anyone else, just him. But his consort, Parvati, another form of the universal Shakti, the energy of the universe, Parvati grabs him by the throat and squeezes like they are SM couple. And she squeezes so tight that poison does not go down into Shiva's body and does not kill him. It stays right here, but is so strong, the poison, that it stains Shiva's throat blue forevermore. And that is why Shiva also has the name Nilakanta. Nila meaning blue, Kanta throat. Shiva is the blue-throated one. Jai Shri Shiva. Thank you for your compassion. Jai Shri Parvati. Thank you for saving Shiva from being killed. But the churning still goes on. Mount Meru is turning. The serpent is turning the mountain. And up from the bottom of the ocean of the milk of consciousness are coming all of these amazing things. First comes up gold, and the demons run after it. Then comes up a sacred magical gem called Kastuba. It is given to Vishnu because he is being turtle holding up the mountain, so all of this can happen. He gets something nice. Then comes up more rubies and emeralds. The demons go after them. And out comes a tree that fulfills any wish. Up comes sapphires and moonstones and tanzanite and topaz, both regular and blue. The demons go after them. And comes out a white elephant. And Indra takes the white elephant. And to this day, Indra rides across the sky on his white elephant, which you and I refer to as clouds. Indra, storm god. Global warming, good time to chant to Indra. May you not completely screw us up like happened in the south of Spain. You think it's just going to be over there? No, honey. Flooding going to be everywhere if we keep doing what we are doing. Just saying. So, finally, all these good things are coming up. There's a wish-fulfilling cow, more gold for the demons, flying magic carpet, more gold for the demons, building plans for Disney Vladivostok, more gold for the demons. Finally, a lotus grows up and out of the ocean of the milk of consciousness. And the lotus, it opens upon the surface. And there, in the lotus, when it opens, is the goddess Lakshmi. And she is holding in her hands a golden bowl. I said boy, B-O-W-L, not B-O-W-E-L, bowl. The golden bowel is different thing. And you can get it at Slammer if you are in Los Angeles. New York, San Francisco, you have your own places to get golden bowel. Pardon while I restored on this. Ow, singe hand on candle. Boo! She's holding the bowl of the nectar of immortality. But right quick, what do you think happens? Hey? You know good storytelling? Then you know. Demons snatch the golden bowl of Amrit, run away with it. They have stolen the bowl of the nectar of immortality. What are the gods to do? They do what always the good guys do. They have a Zoom meeting. They get together, standing on shore of ocean of milk of consciousness, and they talk it out like good guys. No carpet bombing. But first, Lakshmi, she has just arrived into creation, and she wants to check things out. And she goes to all of the male gods, all of the male devas, and she looks them up and down and thinking, who am I going to have for my consort? Or family show, my consort. You know, I am centuries old. This is first time I notice similarity between this and this. Both putting appendage into whole. Who knew? Marriage is a fertility rite. Never forget it. Should always have leaping around of naked fairies. Just saying. Lakshmi looks over Agni, the god of fire, and thinks, that's high. Looks over Varuna, the god of the ocean. That's where. Looks over Vayu, the god of the wind. That blows. Looks over Indra, the god of the storms. Lightning bolt, domestic violence. Then she comes upon Shiva. Naked, smears his body with the ashes from cremations. I don't think so. Then finally, Vishnu. Blue Vishnu, golden silk robes, Kastuba gem, I told you about. Don't worry, when he changed back from tortoise into Vishnu, he put Mount Meru somewhere nice. Did not sink to bottom of ocean, knowing that you were worried. And she says, what is your name? He says, Vishnu. She says, Milaiki, and becomes consort of Vishnu. They live together for all of eternity, boinking. But God say, okay, nice you are here. What are we doing about Amrit? This is the end of the origin of Goddess Lakshmi, which is what tonight celebrates. But I want to finish story because it pertains to queerness. And I think some of us are queer here. Here we are queer. So they rack brains for how to get Amrit back from demons. Lakshmi goes to Vishnu and says, hey, you, fuckboy, you have power. You can change yourself into things. You were turtle, now you are you. Before you were turtle, you were fish, now you are you. Do something, change to something, do something, be clever. And Vishnu says, oh yes, Lakshmi, that is right. I can do this. What to change myself into? What could I be that would interest a demon? I know. Do you know what interests a demon? Sex, money, rock and roll. Vishnu does not play rock and roll, but the sex he can do. So, not to be heterosexualist about this, but don't worry, it will get queer in a moment. He changes his form into the most beautiful, sexy, voluptuous female ever known in existence. And she is named Mohini. Look it up on Google. You may Google the name Mohini and see that Vishnu became a woman with no hesitation, no issues, and no arguments about what is appropriate to have medical professionals do to your body, blah, 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 what can be taught in schools, blah, 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 bullshit. He just does it. Then he goes over to demons. He flies on back of Garuda, sacred eagle that belongs to Vishnu. And Garuda takes him over to demons. And Mohini walks like sexy ass woman. Now, this is what we're talking about if you have been watching all of the show. Boobies. Not boobies, this thing, but boobies. Mohini has boobies. They jiggle like, melons. And Mohini goes to the demons. And the demons are like, that is ancient Sanskrit word. You know what it means. And the demons say, I want to burn you. What do I have to do to get with you, fabulously sexual woman? But the king of the demons, the main Asura, who puts the ass back in Asura, says to Mohini, only me. Forget the rest of these demon people. They have got little bumps on their penises. You want me. Smooth ride. I'm top demon. I treat you right. Mohini says, maybe. Maybe I dance for you. Now, it depends on which version of story you get. Bowdlerized after Mughal Empire and British Raj, where sex doesn't exist among the gods, or original Dravidian, or even early Aryan version, in which sex is part of the whole story of the gods and the universe. You don't believe me? Read the Skanda Purana. Go find the part where how Skanda was created. Look at the other sister. Look at her videos channel. She tells this story there. Birth of Skanda. S-K-A-N-D-A. So she says, I could dance for you, yes, but you have to give me something. You have to pay me. I am an artist. You know how this goes. King of Demons says, all right, you are so freaking hot. Ooh, is it hot in here? I take off all my clothes. I'm a demon. I don't wear much. It's easy. I give you anything to get you to dance with me. Mohini says, oh, anything. Well, I don't know what you have that I could want. I'm looking around. I don't see car. I don't see house. What is there no big fat wallet here? What is that? Golden bowl? Okay? Well, I take golden bowl with the goo inside. All the golden goo in the golden bowl. I take that. Demons say, yeah, okay, great. Do the dance. Mohini dances for the demons. And she dances so beautifully and so sexually that the demons wet themselves with their demonic jizz. Bleh. And right when they are in the throes of ecstasy, Mohini grabs the golden bowl and says, "Thank you, boys," and transforms back into Vishnu before their very eyes, laughs in their faces, and says, "Hope you liked my dance," and disappears on Garuda back to the other devas, the gods, with the Amrit. The gods go back to their palaces in heaven, and they have a good laugh. Because they are bros and heteronormative, so they think it's very funny that the demons got tricked by queer trick. Demons, they are very sorry they lost the Amrit, but they go back to the demon world and they say, yeah, the gods are laughing at us, but frankly, the joke is on the gods. We jizzed over Vishnu. Vishnu was our butt boy. Like, who's sorry now? Boy chick. So everyone gets something. And Vishnu and Lakshmi live together for the rest of eternity. Until Lord Brahma closes his eyes and goes to sleep and draws the universe that he made back into himself. And then Lord Vishnu, asleep at the bottom of the ocean, closes his eyes and goes to sleep and draws Lord Brahma and his universe back into his navel. And then Lord Shiva, the Mahadev, closes his eyes and goes to sleep for millions of years, drawing Vishnu back inside of himself. All of it goes to sleep for millions of years, until millions of years after, they wake up and it all unfolds again into a new universe. Cycle of time. Now I give you your first horror story for Halloween. We have just learned that the universe, as we know it, with its ever-expanding galaxies in the trillions, is all made by Brahma. And when Brahma goes to sleep, it folds back into itself, into him. And when Vishnu goes to sleep, when Vishnu is awake, there are 500 Brahmas, waking and sleeping and waking and sleeping, always making universes. Vishnu goes to sleep and all of them disappear into Vishnu. There are 500 Vishnus waking up and producing 500 Brahmas and going to sleep and sucking them back in and waking up and sucking them back in one sleep cycle and awake cycle of Shiva. That is how big Shiva is. Shiva is 500 times 500 times our universe. So the horror story is one question. Where did Shiva come from? Why? Why Shiva? Why is this the game? Where did he come from? There is no story. If there is a story, you tell that story. This is where Shiva come from. Okay, great. Where did that come from? And why? Clever people who went to ethics and philosophy class in the 70s will respond, why not? Ha ha! Yeah, that is good remedy for a human dilemma, but it does not answer the question. Why this? Where did it come from? You believe in the Jesus person and the God from that book. Okay, good for you. Where did that god come from? Well, from his mother, mother of God. It is said, people say this. Where did she come from? You are atheist, you're iconoclast. We could be figment of imagination of giant snail. You are right, we could be. Where did the snail come from? Nothing. It is nothing. It is just space. It is molecules and atoms and quarks and strings. Who set that up? Where did that come from? And if you figure that out, then where did that come from? And if you figure that out, where did that come from? It is the unanswered question. And I give it to you on Halloween because it is fucked up. It will fuck up your brain. Ha 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 ha! Sucker. Okay, story number 2 coming. First, more liquid refreshment. Sister Boonity has freshly squeezed tax accountant blood. Delicious. Cheers to you. May your glass always be filled with healthy, nourishing, abundant drink. Mine is filled with blood. Boo! 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 Sister Boonity has got to get goblet. Cordial glass does not last long. Sister Boonity is begging of your pardon. So, holiday of Diwaloween. The next story, Sister Boonity will tell, will be terrible version of well-known fairy tale. Sister Boonity is very creepy, is she not? Sister Boonity has dried snot in nose. Must remove? No, that's not working. Hang on, have to get booger. It is only appropriate on Halloween to have a booger. Booger is also a type of drag. Booger. That is much better. So, how many of Sister Boonity's audience members are familiar with the fairy tales of the Grimm brothers? Raise your hand. Never mind, I can't see you. Did you raise your hand? You are a silly person. Ha ha ha! Oh, I raised my hand too. I am a silly person. We are silly together! Ha 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 ha! Once upon a time, there was kingdom with king and queen and beautiful daughter who was so beautiful because this is European fairy tale, so excuse the racial implications in society that favors the racial ancestry of this particular fairy tale. Her skin was as snow white as Sister Boonity's skin. This part, not this part. This is too white. This was freaky. She was not freaky. She was pretty. She had lips that were red like rose petals. Now, I want to say rubies, but then she is vampire. So rose petal, a little more like a good Chanel lipstick. Eh? Red, but a little off red. You know what I'm saying. And her hair, because she had ancestry from Africa, her hair was black like the night. I'm trying to mix it up racially to sort of get ourselves over the hegemony that has been forced down our throat for centuries. But, you know, what can you do when your starting point is a German fairy tale? Hey, but don't worry, everyone gets trashed in this story. So daughter grows up through childhood very, very happily in castle with loving father, loving mother. But oh no, bad thing happened. Piano falls on mother and father. No, on mother. Yeah, piano falls on mother. Mother is dead. King marries other wife. Other wife becomes queen. Yeah. Snow White gets along with her all right. Oh, that's right. They call the girl Snow White because they are racist. I don't know, because probably the color of it. Does this look white like snow? Does this look like snow? This looks like snow, like next to a road, next to a highway. But this does not. Why is she Snow White when she's clearly like what? Peach? What the hell color is this? She's clearly there's a particular type. Someone type in Google rose, peach colored rose, skin color, petal. Find out what name of this color. Crayola crayon calls skin. Her name is not Skin White. Maybe she's Skin White. Call her racist white. I don't know. But this is not snow. I'm just saying, right? Whatever is name of fairy tale. Snow White. So Snow White, cool relationship with Queen. Father then meets same fate. Harpsichord falls on the king. Stepmother Queen now rules the kingdom. There are rumors that maybe she might have been the person to suspend harpsichord on small piece of dental floss overthrown. Hard to understand how otherwise is harpsichord floating overthrown on dental floss. Shit happens. Then Snow White and the Queen are really not getting along. But Snow White doesn't know. The Queen is very clever, does not show enmity for Snow White. But the Queen, before she married the king, she was a studied witch, knew witchcraft, and had a magic mirror. She would go before her mirror, and she would ask the mirror, 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 on the wall, who is the fairest one of all? And the spirits from the other world who float through our world unseen, who are people who have died in bizarre circumstances with unfinished karma, their heart unable to steer them away from life, from the world, but who nonetheless no longer occupy a body and must wander the world watching the living and despairing. One of these was a wizard, a very well-practiced wizard who died greedily trying to steal the gold from a dragon. And the dragon woke up and incinerated him with his breath before the wizard could even turn around and see what was happening. Before he knew it, the wizard was out of his body, but still lusting after the gold of the dragon. And this is what made him a ghost. But because he was a wizard, he could navigate the afterlife a little better than others. So when the queen cast a spell and performed a ritual to make her mirror, like a crystal ball, to be a place to talk to the spirits, the wizard occupied the mirror so that he could have a hand in the world of the living. You always wondered about the talking mirror, didn't you? Now, Sister Boonity, being unalive, has told you the story of how the mirror came to be a talking mirror. So the mirror answers the question of who is the fairest in the land by saying, there are beauties plenty across the land. But, my queen, your stepdaughter is the fairest one at hand. The queen double-checks the answer. Wait, Snow White? You're like, really? She's like 13. She's 13 years old. She has pimple. She's beautiful. The mirror says, oh, my queen, she is passing beautiful. Why, you will ask? Go on, ask. All right, why? Because she has a good heart, and she keeps her mind pure and clear, and she is kind and generous, and she washes with a simple soap and washcloth and water, doesn't use a lot of product, is well aware of the fact that people are charging exorbitant amounts of product, when in fact all you really need is a good soap with no perfumes and coloring and water and a good sturdy washcloth, and then a plain moisturizer, like, frankly, some lanolin. Just a drop of lanolin will do you for a week. But if you can't do that, then like CeraVe, just plain CeraVe from the pharmacy. It's better than the Clinique crap. It's all got coloring and perfume. Just use the CeraVe or the lanolin and the washcloth and you're done. That's what she does. You are like, clearly you've been at the Chanel counter and you've got the Borghese mud mask and you're doing the Lancome cleanser and the Clinique moisturizer. You're putting a lot of petrochemicals into your skin. I'm just saying, you look great, but it's not as fresh as, you know. The queen says, damn you, mirror. But I know you are right. She is lovely. I know what I'll do. I'll get rid of her. So the queen strings up a tuba on dental floss over the dinner chair of Snow White. And then she serves Snow White's favorite meal, steamed artichokes with melted butter. Snow White sits down to eat the steamed artichoke with the melted butter. The queen is in the rafters of the dining hall with a pair of scissors, and she cuts the dental floss. The tuba falls to the ground. But Snow White had gone back to the kitchen to get more melted butter, because honestly, you cannot have enough melted butter with your steamed artichoke. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you're going to have to talk to the living sister that I am replacing for this night. She will take you for steamed artichokes. So this attempt at her life fails. Again, the queen tries another method. She takes a comb from the beauty vanity table of Snow White, who is 13, so there's not a lot of stuff on there. There's a bottle of CeraVe, a bottle of lanolin, and a washcloth. But she combs her hair. So queen takes comb. You know, maybe we tell a version of the story where her name is Ebony Black, or Nighttime Black, or Midnight Black. And it's not a comb, it's a pick, because she has a beautiful full afro of hair, and she picks it to be at its most resplendent and fulsome. Why does it always have to be Snow White? It's the beauty standard. You can have ebon skin of midnight and lips like pomegranates or rubies, and hair as dark as the space between the stars. This is a paradigm of beauty. You could have hair as dark as the space at night, and skin the color of burnt sugar, and lips that are maroon red, like a scarab beetle's wings, or like a pomegranate, or like you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be white. You could do. You could have a hair so black it is almost blue, like the deepest parts of the ocean, and skin the color of gold dust, and lips the color of jujube fruits. I'm trying to go for some of the Asian populations, and just make the fairy tale your own, like Sister Boonity is making into a scary fairy tale. It'll be scarier later on. The tube falling is not very scary. But you can take any fairy tale you want. You can make it a different race, a different gender, a different romantic preference, because, it's always boy meets girl. You can change. Fairy tale archetype will survive. Fairy tale enjoyment will survive. Fairy tale will resonate with meaning, but tell it in your own way. Sister Boonity is here to kill old paradigms that keep us trapped in a oppressive, normative discourse, cultural discourse. Fuck shit up. Do it your way. It is your story. So, snow of indeterminate color has the comb on the vanity, and the queen takes the comb down into her dungeon workshop where she has potions and magic and scummy little things living in the corners. And she takes the comb and she dips it into a green poison liquid that is made from spider urine and the pituitary gland of a South American gecko bat and tar from a tar pit. And she lets it seep into the wood of the comb until the comb is saturated with poison. And she brings it back, carrying it with a little pair of silver tweezers so she doesn't touch the poison comb, and puts it back on Snow Indeterminate Color's vanity table. And she leaves. And she knows that Midnight Black, I'm just going to change what she is like as I tell this story back and forth. And she knows that Midnight Black combs her hair in the morning, picks her hair in the morning. So the queen waits at the breakfast table. Will she come down? Or will my poison have done its work? She hears a scream from the direction of Midnight Black's room. She saunters up the staircase. The guards are rushing to her room. The queen says, "What is your hurry? If she screams again, we should rush." They get to the room of Midnight Black. And there is Midnight Black, perfectly alive, pointing at her vanity table where the palace cat has died because it licked the comb. Why? Because stupid queen put gecko bat lymph pituitary gland juices on comb as part of poison. Hello, cats love to eat little critters, especially bats and gecko lizards. So, cat is licking comb, cat is dead. Ebony Black is alive. The queen says, curses, curses, curses. I'm trying to be clever. I'm overthinking this. I know what we do. We do old-fashioned way. I just cut off her head. Easy. But, and she goes to the mirror and she says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who does the public in recent polling data say is the fairest one of all? And the mirror says, you are fair, more than many. But did anyone besides Ebony Black? Did any? No, it's Ebony Black. You knew that. The queen says, okay, then I cannot chop off head with guillotine in main square of kingdom. It must be done away from the capital. She calls up old henchman boyfriend that had before she was queen, before she was witch. In high school, she dated this guy. They split up because she had plans. She wanted to become queen someday. He wanted to cut down trees and sell firewood. Red flag. So she goes to him and she says, I will pay you enough gold to make you a duke, but you must do one thing for me. Now, henchman was not all that great a person. He drank a lot. He fornicated a whole bunch. He did not care for the rules of society very deeply. So he could be paid to do many unsavory actions, including this one. Sister Boonity must hide Sister Boonity's human extremities, pardon. So he says, what is job? Queen says, take the princess, Ebony Black, out into the woods, deep in the woods, miles away from the kingdom, from the border, from the little farmy parts, from the place where people go glamping. Definitely look out for the glamping, they're busybody people. So far that even if dingo ate your baby, it will not be cause to call police. Deep, deep forest, way deep, where nobody goes. There you will cut off her head. Bring me back her heart. Cut it out and bring it to me. That will give me proof she is dead. Huntsman says, you paying how much for this? She says, I'm making you a duke. I give you like a mansion, a lot of gold, and like puffy pants. Huntsman says, okay, I do this. In the dead of night, when Ebony Black is sleeping, Huntsman goes into her room. Creepy, creepy, creepy. And with cloth, covers her mouth, ties cloth around mouth, ties hands behind back, ties feet at ankles, puts her in big burlap sack, puts sap over back of horse, and rides away from kingdom. Townspeople hear clip clop, clip clop, clip clop at 3 in the morning, and they think, well, unless someone was kidnapping the princess, I'm not getting out of bed to look for that. I have to go cut wheat in the morning. And in this way, Ebony Black is removed from the kingdom. Meanwhile, the huntsman arrives in the deepest place of the woods that he knows. It is so far away from everything, he's not even sure of where he's going. He has to drop little pieces of gingerbread shaped like little boy and girl to make trail to follow back to get back to kingdom. You like see those? I'm doing some crossover storytelling there. Scary, very scary. There he takes burnt sugar brown, the princess. See, I'm changing, right? You can do what you want with fairy tale. Takes burnt sugar brown out of sack and says, now I kill you. What are your last words to say on this earth before I cut off your head and cut out your heart? And burnt sugar brown says to Huntsman, I used to play around your farm when I was little. My father had you come and cut down trees to supply wood for the fireplaces and the kitchen in the palace. I always made sure cook give you cupcake as you leave palace. For this, have pity on my poor life. On the name of my abuelita, la mi madre, la reina muerta. En el nombre del mi padre, el rey muerto. Es ser simpático. I may have gotten my verb tense right, but I'm trying for multicultural fairy tale, doing what I can. The huntsman looks at his beautifully sharp axe and thinks, what a pity not to let the steel drink. But she is right. She has done me much good over the years. The king was very good to me. This queen, she's a bitch. Nothing wrong with bitches, but this one does not pay. She says she's going to make me a duke. I know very well she's not going to make me a duke. Probably just some cheap-ass marquess or something. So she will cut corners. I will cut corners. You, burnt sugar brown, may live. I will go to my farm and cut the heart out of a pig and bring this to the queen. Did you know that certain parts of the pig's heart can be used in a pinch in a human being? Another story. So he leaves burnt sugar brown, but he says, you cannot come back to the kingdom. If I see you, I will have to kill you immediately because the queen will kill me. So you must now give up your life and go into the forest and live by what chance you may. So because it is Halloween, I have to make this a ghost story somehow. So Burnt Sugar Brown goes into the forest, and there are scary owls going, who the fuck is this? New phone, who this? A scary crow going, caw, caw, caw. There's two crows sitting on a branch, and Burnt Sugar Brown looks at them and says, only two? That's an attempted murder. Yeah, I know, you've seen the meme. She goes deeper into the forest where the ghosts live. And the ghosts rise up out of the ground, filling the air with a kind of cold, moist chill. And in their grayish, whitish, phantomy forms, they float through the trees towards Burnt Sugar Brown. And they say to Burnt Sugar Brown, who goes before us? Who walks upon the earth where our bodies are buried? For once this was a graveyard, many kingdoms ago. Who dares to tread where our bodies are buried? And Gold and Black, see I changed that again. Gold and Black says, it is I, once a princess, now forced to flee for my life. If you value the integrity of your lives, lost and buried, please help the integrity of my life to continue. Where can I find shelter away from the evil queen? And the ghosts, who had been noblemen and knights who had fought in a great battle and been slaughtered by the enemy, burned alive, stabbed, chopped to pieces, who had been sunken into the battlefield and buried by dust and time. They recognized the spirit of the princess in Gold and Black, and they said, you must go deeper into the forest, find the small house, stay there. And Gold and Black walked deeper into the forest. The ghosts parted the way so that she could find her way to, around the bend, and under a great, huge sycamore tree, a little house. She went into the little house, and it was filthy. And she thought, if I am going to... sorry, I'm distracted by Sister. Come on, I want to lay you, who says, I kill you. That is not this story, Kay. This story is more along lines of, hello, my name is Vlad Montoya. You kill my father. Prepare to die. Okay? We got that. Okay, under control. So, house is dirty. She says, this is filthy. If I'm going to survive here, I'm going to clean. She cleans house. She finds pump of water, puts kettle on fireplace, gets hot water, scrubby. And then she noticed weird thing about house. Long table with only 7 chairs for dinner. But chairs all same size. So if this is family, where are the children? But the chairs are all tiny. So, okay, it's family of all children, but where are chairs for parents? She sees beds in bedroom, or 7 beds in bedroom, 1 bedroom. She thinks, okay, this is homosexual bukkake party, except individual beds, not one big one. So what is deal? Beds are tiny. She thinks, oh, is nursery for children? Well, that should be other bedroom for parents. She looks upstairs. Upstairs is hayloft. No bed. No parents. I don't get it, she says. But she cleans entire house. 2 hours later, than finishing cleaning, sun is setting through trees, and she hears through the forest a song. Copyright. It's not Disney song, hi ho, hi ho. Besides, I could make joke about lyrics, but what? No, song comes through the forest, and she hears male voices, deep male voices, and they are singing that thing from Hobbit movie. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't know words, very sad song about we lost our gold, boohoo, dragon has it. Anyway, they're singing this song. They come into house, and she does not know what to do, so she hides in the hayloft. She says, I thought this ghost told me house is for me. And she sees coming into a house 7 men from the race of the dwarves. Now, no television, so she has not watched Game of Thrones. No, there are no dwarves in Game of Thrones. There's just Peter Dinklage. I apologize for slight against little people there. What is show with dwarves? Oh, Lord of Rings. Yeah, Gimli. So no movie theater. She's not seen Lord of Rings. She doesn't know from dwarves. First time seeing dwarves. Heard in fairy tales. Father used to read fairy tales about dwarves and elves and ants and things. But she says, really? There are actual dwarves. Who knew? They carry sacks, and they put on the sacks, and she sees sacks are filled with gems, rubies, diamonds, emeralds, sapphires, tanzanite. They have beards, these dwarves. Each one has a different personality. Halloween stories, so I make them scary. They're spiky and slimy and awful and evil and poisony and bitchy and scumbag. Evil dwarves. Halloween. So she's hiding in hayloft. The dwarves know immediately how story because they're dwarves. Keen eyesight, keen scent. They think house is clean. House is looking better than has looked since evil was born. So they say, whoever cleaned our house, we can smell you are still here. Come down. We will feed you dinner. And we want to know why you clean our house. It was scum pit. Why you clean our house? Don't worry. You can stay here and clean if you like. So Gold and Black comes down the ladder from hayloft and introduces herself and says, my name is Gold and Black. I have fled from the kingdom, the capital city, to save my life. The queen wants to me. Who are you? And why was your house so messy? I had to clean. The dwarves say, how do you do? My name is Awful. And that's not A-W-F-U-L. It is O-F-F-A-L. He's the one who prepares the food because, after all, you can eat awful. So he says, I make you Italian bean soup with vegetables called ribollita. You eat, then we talk. After Golden Black finishes dinner and feels more normal and safe, she explains her story to the dwarves, and the dwarves tell her, you can stay here. We will look after you. You will look after us. We will see what happens. We will just go through life like this. So they do. Meanwhile, back at the palace, the queen is very happy. She has seen the heart brought by the huntsman that she thinks belongs to Gold and Black. And she says to her mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who now is the fairest of them all? The mirror says, I know what you want to hear. I know your beauty to you is dear. So please, no drama, don't make hay when I tell you Golden Black still lives far away. And she's the most beautiful one still, bitch. And the queen is enraged. She sends men out to track down the huntsman to kill him. The huntsman has skipped town. He lives in Detroit. He opens an antique shop. He's bisexual. He hooks up with some nice guy. He owns a flower shop. They have flowers and antiques. It's sort of like combo shop. They live for years. Very happy. Part of Renaissance of Detroit. The queen then says, All right, mirror, tell me where she lives. Show me where she is. I must be rid of her. And the mirror says, in a forest. So far you must creep. She dwells with dwarves in the forest deep. The queen sees the house. She figures out a map. And then she goes down into her dungeon. And she takes an artichoke, Golden Black's favorite food. And she takes butter and she poisons the butter. Then she disguises herself as a wandering artichoke salesman and goes into the forest deep. And she goes up to the house and knocks on the door and calls out, "Artichokes! Artichokes freshly steamed with melted butter!" And Gold and Black opens it's one of those doors that splits in the middle and the bottom is closed so they can't come in, but the top is open and you can talk and do commerce. And she says, "How much is the artichoke?" And the disguised queen, disguised as the artichoke salesman, says, "Oh, well, for you, give me a copper pfennig. For the artichoke, I give you the melted butter free because you are so young and so pretty." So Gold and Black takes the artichoke and the melted butter. And she takes the artichoke and she's about to dip it in the butter. But she says, no, it would not be right for me to eat without the dwarfs. I save this for dinner. Goodbye to you, artichoke salesman, and closes the door. The artichoke salesman, who is the queen, goes back to the palace, giggling to herself that not only will Gold and Black be dead, but probably some pesky dwarves. She undoes her disguise and goes to the mirror and says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who now is the fairest of them all?" The mirror says, "Queen, my dear, you are clever, but your poison was not the lever to do in Gold and Black." I'm trying to find a rhyme for the word poison. It is not easy, so I have to hedge my bets. The butter you filled with poison poured from a spout, but the dwarves are clever and found it out. They have a very keen sense of smell, and they got the butter was poison and threw it away before she could eat it. We must try again. So the evil queen says, "That is it, that is it. I'm going back to the old ways. I know this will work." And she goes down into her laboratory and she takes a beautiful red apple. Now, people will ask me, is it a red delicious apple or is it a Macintosh? A golden delicious or Granny Smith? We know it is not because it is red and they are yellow and green respectively. So, is it red delicious or Macintosh? Now I pause to ask you, the audience, what type of apple do you think it is? The queen is going to poison what kind of apple do you think? I wait for your answer in the chat. Yes, you are right, Tom. Sister Crap, who is not here tonight, but did my eye makeup, she did tell this story. It was very, very different from this version, I think. Apples and oranges. That's a tie-in to the story point we are at. What kind of a cosmic apple? Well, now that's going to be hard to get down the little. She's 15 years old. It's going to be hard to get down her throat. Why are they called Granny Smith? Which is obvious. There was an evil granny in the village who was mean to everyone. So a witch turned her into a sour apple. That is why they are called this. Her name was Granny Smith. Someone has guessed red delicious? Incorrect. Does that mean then that it is Macintosh? No, it does not. The apple she chose was, yes, you are a pomegranate. This is obvious. Anyone who meets you knows you are a pomegranate. The apple she chose was a Cortland. A Cortland. Very beautiful, tasty apple. Had one last time I was in New England. Fresh off the tree. Crisp, snappy bite. Oh, Cortland apple. Irresistible. The queen poisons it, dips it into a bubbling red, poisonous lotion, pulls it back out. No difference in apple except a little bit shinier to the eye, so that it will tempt you to eat its delicious poisoned flesh. The queen then says, okay, I have to be completely unsuspecting. I will make myself look vulnerable and feeble. And she turns herself into an old hag, dressed in charcoal gray rags with holes in them, and her face drawn down by time. She puts the apple in a basket of plain-looking apples. And she goes back out to the forest, goes out, finds the little cottage. The dwarves, she arrives around 12 noon, lunchtime, when Golden Black will be hungry. I'm going to go back to Ebony Night, when Ebony Night will be hungry. And she arrives just before she's going to make herself sandwich. And dwarves are down in the mines, plucking out the tanzanite. And she calls out, apples! Will someone please buy my apples? I am a poor old woman. German. I'm a poor old woman from just outside of Munchen. Won't you be munching my apples? Please buy an apple from me so that I may purchase socks for the winter. I'm so poor and old. And Ebony Knight opens that top door and sees this haggard old hag and says, Mother, come, come. I will buy one of your apples so you can purchase socks for the winter. This is how beautiful her heart is. The queen goes over to the door and she offers the basket of apples. And Ebony Knight is going to take one of the lesser apples to save the good one that she can sell to someone better. But the little old lady queen says, oh, my dear, there's no need to be so humble. You are doing me a good service. I insist you must take my best apple. And she puts the poisoned apple into the hand of Ebony Knight. And she says, go ahead, try it. I want to see the expression of joy on your face. It's a Cortland, you know. And Ebony Knight bites into the apple. And the piece of the apple gets only so far, just past the soft palate, towards the top of the throat when the poison takes effect immediately. And she drops down into a death-like sleep on the floor. The queen scurries back to the palace. She undoes her disguise by wiping herself down with wombat fart juice. And she goes to her bedroom and draws back her curtain and says, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is now the fairest of them all? My dear queen, you have striven with many wicked deeds, and it must be said, by now have left all other beauties in the weeds. It is you. You are now the fairest in the land, you Chanel-caked trollop. The queen relaxed, as much as an evil plotter can be, at peace with herself and her good fortune, brought to you by Cortlands and poison. The dwarves, to celebrate her newfound status as the most beautiful in the land, she introduced a line of cosmetics that slowly turns girls' skin gray over time, just to seal the deal on being the most beautiful. Meanwhile, back in the forest, the dwarves came home and they opened the door and they found Ebony Night lying on the floor, her skin pallid, dull, no longer shining with the light of life. Her lips had gone dark, her eyes grey filmed over. But they could tell that she was not quite dead, because the apple had not gone to the stomach. The poison had worked so fast, she was only in a death-like sleep. But no one knew this. The dwarves only knew she is breathing very slow and shallow. So they put her on the bed, and they discussed for 3 days what to do with her. They could not bury her in the ground. She was still somehow alive. They could not keep her in the house. She was not really alive. Lord knows if she's going to smell, especially if she is not bathing. So they built a glass coffin out of quartz crystal. A crystal coffin out of quartz crystal. Different from glass. But, you know, they're good with gems. They're dwarves. They do gem craft. They know what they're doing. So they build it out of the quartz crystal so they can see her, love her, admire her for her generosity, kindness, beauty, goodness, but still appropriately in a coffin. But above ground, they cut down a place. There were 3 trees that grew in a row together, and they cut them down to make the stumps even as a resting place for Ebony Night in her crystal coffin. Well, time went by. The queen was still the most beautiful in the land for years. But a little boy who had been a 10-year-old scamp running around his father, the king's castle in a neighboring kingdom, playing tricks on the jester, whose name was Yorick. Don't worry, this is not Hamlet, it's not Denmark. We're down somewhere near Bavaria. Coincidence, jesters both have same name. He had grown up. Now he is 18 years old. And Ebony Night is now 18 years old, had she lived. And he is now, being 18, he has his own horse. He's riding around. He's seeing the world outside of his kingdom. And where do you think he goes to discover what is there to be found in the world? Where do you think he goes? Andorra for duty-free electronics? Czech Republic for beer? Do you think he goes maybe to Slovenia to try the sausages? Italy? Do you think he goes to Italy? He wants to try cheese. Maybe he goes to France to find out the pastries and the cooking that they ripped off from the Italians. No, he goes into the deep forest where the dwarves live. And to his great amazement, he sees a crystal box on tree stumps, covered over with leaves and dust. And he says, I don't know that much about the gems, but I don't think that the gems grow on tree stumps. So he takes his cape of velvet, dark blue velvet, and he wipes off the crystal. Maybe he thinks it has a good energy I can put inside my meditation chamber. And you know what happens when he wipes off the dust and the leaves. He sees inside a beautiful woman whose skin is like polished mahogany, who has lips full and red like rubies or the seeds of pomegranates, who has a beautiful full head, cloud-like halo of jet black hair. He is in love immediately. He takes the lid off of the crystal coffin. The dwarves hear the sound of the crystal being moved, and they, what is happening? My booby is getting askewed. There we are. No, now I'm drunk. Costuming. And they come running. But it's going to take them a while to get to the place that they have put Ebony Knight. And the prince of indeterminate race, you imagine your own, he bends down because he cannot help but wants to be close to this beautiful woman. He feels he knows her. Now, okay, this part is a little, has a little problem with consent. So I'm just going to acknowledge that right now. But the story must be told as it was always told. So let's see what we can do. He bends down and he is intoxicated by her beauty. And he thinks to himself, you know, it's really a problematic story because either it's an issue of consent or it's a problem with necrophilia. So which direction do we go in? Consent, SA issues, or necrophilia? Personally, I prefer necrophilia. So he goes, he's intoxicated with her. Anyway, you know what happens. He smooches her. He kisses her. Now, I'm not good at physiology and physics, but somehow his kiss dislodges the apple in the throat of Ebony Knight. And instead of swallowing it, she coughs it out and it hits him in the face and sort of poisons a little place on his nose. And from then on, he has a mole right there on the nose where the poison apple piece hit. But Ebony Knight is now coming back to life. The color is returning to her skin, which already had a beautiful color. So that's also a problem in the storytelling. How did this even get made into a movie? We switch her again. And Snow White sits up in the coffin and she puts a hand on the face of the prince. And she says, "Who are you, beautiful young man? And what has happened to me that I'm in the middle of the forest?" And just then the dwarves arrive and they see her sitting up and they live. And they are weeping with joy and they are dancing around and they explain the whole story of what happened to her. And they figure out that the little piece of apple was from a poisoned apple from the queen. And the prince says, "I will take you, burnt sugar brown, back to my kingdom. And if we like each other in a year's time, we can be married." And that is in fact what happened. Now this is awfully happy story for Halloween. But here is the Halloweeny part. Because I'm going to make it like it was in the original Grimm's fairy tales. They are a year later, plus 3 months. They are getting married. They have sent out invitations to all the kingdoms around. And the evil queen from the kingdom where Burnt Sugar Brown had grown up is invited to the wedding. "Oh, I'm doing the German and you bet your sweet Jalisco Bippy, sister. Come on, I wanna lay you." She goes, she says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all now? Because I got to go to this wedding and I need to know." And the mirror says, "Queen of magic and evil, who are evil and arty. I'm telling you, bitch, don't go to this party." But the queen says, "I must see it. I know she's alive. I must see this for myself." And she goes to the party and the wedding and the reception. And the prince and Burnt Sugar Brown are married in the big church in the kingdom or temple, or they walk around a fire 3 times and the Brahmin priests chant the sacred mantras of marriage. They pour the water over the feet of their ancestors. Multicultural. And then comes the reception. And everybody is gathered and having a feast. When the prince and Burnt Sugar Brown stand up and they say, all of our guests are so welcome to our wedding and reception. We have a special, particular welcome to the queen who helped to raise my wife, Golden Sugar Brown, and to recognize the exquisite type of job she did in raising Gold Sugar Brown, to mirror the manner in which Golden Sugar Brown Burnt Sugar Brown was raised and cared for. We have an equally glamorous gift for the queen from the kingdom of my wife. And the queen, the evil queen, was all in a tizzy. She thought, oh, is it a new tiara, perhaps? Maybe a set of earrings made with rubies that look awfully good with my mousy brown hairdo. But instead, the livery men of the prince brought out, the groom, the prince, brought out with a pair of iron tongs, two pairs of livery men with iron tongs brought out two iron slippers that had been left in a huge burning fire all night and all of the wedding day until they were glowing red and orange hot. Iron, glowing this color hot. And they said, the prince said, here are your dancing shoes. For now, strike up music, musicians. The queen will dance for us, and we will join her. And the queen said, no, I will not put on these shoes. No, you cannot. I am the queen. You risk war between our countries. You cannot do this to me. And the prince had found the huntsman in Detroit. And he had brought him here. And the huntsman was the one who took the queen by the ankles and forced her feet into the burning orange red hot iron slippers. And both feet were in them, and she was put on her feet and told to dance. But she could do nothing more than scream and scream and scream as the flesh from her feet bubbled like cheese in a griddle and burned away, and the muscle burned until the juices of blood and lymph and water in her feet flesh boiled away until there were no feet left, only bones, being turned to black by the orange red hot iron of the slippers. And an hour later, weeping and crying out, still on the floor of the banquet hall, she died in excruciating pain. The wedding guests, however, had repaired to another hall, a ballroom, where the music played lively tunes, and the prince danced with Burnt Sugar Brown. And the ghosts of the noblemen who had been buried in the forest rose up once again out of the ground. And 3 of them went to the dwarves' house and told the dwarves to come and join the feast and the dancing. And the rest of them, noblemen all, went and danced as ghosts among the rafters of the prince's ballroom. The end. Boo. You may ask, what happened to the kingdom that was ruled over by the evil queen? The evil queen being dead, the next in line to the throne was obviously snow, ebony, burnt sugar, golden, white, brown, black, night. I'm forgetting my metaphoric adjectives. So they had a combined kingdom. Later it became France. Yes. Ebony Knight Bart Sugar Brown was from what was now known, what before known as the Kingdom of Austrasia, and the prince was of the Franks, the Frankish kingdom. They combined. It is now France. Very happy ending. I have only one story left, but we take a short break first. I do love these fingers, but they do make my fingers terribly sweaty. I think we have one last amount of blood for me to consume. To your health. May your health be excellent and keep you from crossing over on this night when the veil between the living and the not living is very, very thin. Do not worry, sister, about sleeping on the East Coast. I have slept on the East Coast many times. You will be safe. But focus more on the first story than the second. The first story will give you better dreams. Jai Shri Lakshmi to you, sister. Sydney. Okay, I have two more stories, but I'm only going to tell one. Those of you who are remaining, tell me, do you want a ghost story or do you want a Hindu myth about the goddess Durga, the fierce goddess who fights a demon? Ghost story or goddess fighting demon? Your choice. Type your answer, what you prefer. I will read the catch up on my messages here on YouTube. Tom, he is bisexual. So even though he's had plenty of squires and nobles, he settled down with Burnt Sugar Brown. You know, later in life, who knows? Maybe they both become poly. Your fairy tale, you tell it the way you want. Yes, Tom, you are correct that when she was in the crystal coffin, the lanolin treatments had kept her body from rotting. Kiss her hand is a good idea, but how does that dislodge the piece of poison apple is the question. Maybe because he raises the hand up, it moves her body or something. I don't know. Yes, it is good that the apple did not reach her colon. Then he would have to he'd have to use the coconut oil and kiss the other mouth. Not that he would mind. I know I would not mind kissing the nether mouth. Burnt Sugar Brown has a dark thirst for vengeance, as do I. Ha 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 ha! Boo. Boo, boo. I've got one vote for Hindu myth from YouTube. I have no votes on Instagram, and I'm down to 3 people. I think there are 4 people watching total. Well, down from my usual numbers, which were an enormous, whopping 12 people in the early years when I live streamed Halloween. Hindu myth. I get 1 vote for Hindu myth. Going once. I count to 20, then I'll do going twice. Going twice? Those of you who are just joining, I'm giving you choice for the last story of the night. A ghost story, traditional Western style ghost story, or a myth from Hinduism about the goddess Durga fighting a demon. Ghost story, goddess fights demon. Your choice. We have one vote for Hindu myth. What is your choice? Type in the messages and tell me which story to tell on this, the night of Diwaloween. If you don't know what that means because you're just joining, Diwaloween is a combination between the holidays of Halloween and the Hindu holiday of Diwali. Two votes for the Hindu myth. Okay, that's about all I'm going to get. People don't type many messages here. I adjust my hooby dooby, and then we do story. Oh, one vote for ghost, two vote for Hindu myth. Okay, I count down to 20 one more time. Last call for anyone to vote. Hindu myth versus ghost. Now I am tied. I've got on YouTube a Hindu myth and a ghost, and Instagram a Hindu myth and a ghost. I need one more vote to decide whether Hindu myth or ghost story. I count to 20, waiting for your answer. I counted to 20 and no other messages. And I'm down to 3 again on Instagram. People have just left. How can I tell both at the same time? Oh, one more has voted for Hindu myth. Hindu myth wins 3-2. So here is the story. It is a story of Durga, the goddess Durga, the fiercest goddess, the one who is also called Kali. But in this story, she is Durga. She is not yet Kali. So it starts with a demon king whose name is Mahisha. And Mahisha is clever. Instead of doing the demony things of eating people and eating babies and making war, he is meditating. He sits for 1,000 years on top of a mountain, on top of one toe, meditating, because he knows that the fire of his austerities will draw the favor of Lord Brahma. And in fact, at midnight on the last day of the 1,000th year, Lord Brahma appears before Mahisha and says, "Okay, demon, what is the boon that you want? I grant you a boon." And Mahisha says, "This is my boon, that I cannot be killed by a demon, by a man, or by a god. None of the three can kill me." And Brahma says, "Granted. Your boon is granted. Go be a demon." And Mahisha puts aside his loincloth for meditation, and he puts on his armor and his sword. He takes, and with it, he rides out and conquers all of the demons. He is the king of the demon world. Then, not satisfied, he rides out over the earth and he kills all of the kings of the men's. He is ruling the earth over all the men, all the people of the earth. Not one man can kill him in battle. They try arrows, they bounce off him. They try swords, they don't cut his flesh. They try cannonball, bounces off his armor. No man attacking him can kill him. No demon attacking him can kill him. Now he rides up to heaven with his demon army and all of his demon generals, and he wages war on the golden palaces of the gods. And one by one, he conquers all of the golden palaces of the gods, and he kicks the gods out of their palaces, and they have to go out on some purgatory, blah, yada yada plain somewhere, where they're lucky if there's even a tree. The gods have been defeated, and Mahisha rules the heaven, rules the earth, and rules the demon world. The gods stand in a circle, and they have a conference, and they say, what on earth can we do? We cannot beat him. How this, Brahma, what is up with giving him this boon? The gods say there is only one thing that could possibly defeat this demon: the Shakti, the energy of the universe, our own energy. And standing in a circle, they all assume a very prayerful mudra, and they open their eyes, and they go inside and meditate on the energy of their heart, the energy at the core of their being. And that energy rises up in each god and pours out through his eyes, and the energy comes out in these beams of energy, and the beams of energy meet in the middle of the circle, and they coalesce and form to create a human shape, the shape of a woman, the shape of the goddess Durga. She is wearing a beautiful green silk sari. Her hair is black as space. There is a 3-tier golden crown with a golden halo behind on her head. And she has 27 arms. A tiger comes out from the little cluster of trees nearby, walks over, comes through circle of gods, walks over to Durga, and she sits upon the tiger's back, and the tiger becomes her mount. All of the gods, one by one, they go to Durga and they bow at Durga's feet, recognizing the supremacy of this goddess. And one by one, as they do puja to her, each god gives his own weapon to Durga. Shiva gives Durga his 3-pronged trident. One of her arms takes it. Skanda, the god of war, brings Durga his sword. One of her arms takes it. Indra brings Durga his Vajra, his lightning bolt, and one of her arms takes it. Vayu, the god of the wind, brings her his bow and arrows, and Durga's one of her 27 arms takes it. They all give her their weapons. The last one, the last deva, the last god is Kubera. Kubera is the god of wealth. Yeah, I know. I said earlier Lakshmi is. They both are. Go figure. Hinduism. Very old. And Kubera gives her the golden cup in which he keeps the Amrit, the nectar of immortality. You see, full circle. Yeah, we started with nectar of immortality. We stop with nectar of immortality. Why? Because Halloween is a night for ghosts. If ghosts are too scary, just have the drink of immortality. No ghosts. Everybody alive. So Kubera gives her the cup, and with her remaining 27th arm, she takes it. All of her arms holding her weapons. She mounts the back of the tiger, and she rides out across the plains of heaven towards the golden palaces, and she blows a conch shell to announce with a blast of sound her arrival and her readiness for war. Mahisha, the demon, he looks out from his the highest tower of Indra's castle. Indra is the king of heaven. And so he's in the highest tower of heaven, looking out, and he sees this impudent woman he has never heard of riding this cat towards him and calling him out to war. He says to his army, "Your infantry, go kill her. There are thousands, tens of thousands of you. Go kill her." His infantrymen march out with their spears and their swords, and they go to kill Durga. But Durga, she spreads her arms with all of the weapons of the gods, and she cuts them down like wheat. She cuts them down like it is harvest time until there are no demon infantrymen left. Mahisha sees this in the tower and she says, "My cavalry, get my best horsemen. Go out with your lances and cut her down, stab her and kill her." The demons ride out on horses and wolves and vile creatures, and a few on dragons. And they swoop in and ride in to Durga to cut her to pieces with their long, pointy, sharp lances. And Durga stands up on the back of the tiger, and with Shiva's trident and Skanda's sword and Ganesh's great war mace called a Gada, she cuts them to pieces. She stabs them full of holes. She smashes their bones with the mace. All of the cavalry are dead, and she is still riding towards the palace. Mahisha is getting a little concerned. He says, "My generals, my best heroes, hero warriors and generals, smart, clever in the ways of tactics and war, brave and strong and skilled beyond all else, go out now and use every talent and skill at your disposal, every strategy and tactic, and trap her and kill her." All of the best generals and the bravest, strongest warriors, the best fighters in the universe, they go out to kill Durga. They surround her. They are riding in these patterns that make it very hard to know who is attacking and when to hit who. And Durga, standing on the back of the tiger, raises the weapons and begins to dance. And in her dance, filled with joy, but clarity and precision, she cuts down every single hero, every single general, until they are all dead. Her dance was beyond the sophistication of any tactic they could invent. Now it is only Mahisha left to fight for Mahisha. Mahisha, the demon king, who cannot be killed by demon, by man, or by God. He goes out to meet Durga. Now, I must tell you something about Mahisha. Before he meditated for 1,000 years to gain the boon from Brahma that he cannot be killed by demon, by man, or by God, he had done other austerities and earned other things along the way. He had earned much gold and earned great wealth and earned great intelligence and great skill, and also a siddhi. A siddhi is a supernatural power. Clairvoyance is a siddhi. Becoming invisible is a siddhi. The siddhi of Mahisha was that he could change his form. He could be one kind of creature, and then inside the skin of that creature turn into another creature. And in this way, he could change form from one creature to another at will. So he attacks Durga. He is riding towards her, and he changes into a great eagle with razor-sharp talons, and the eagle swoops down from the air upon Durga. But she takes the bow and arrow of Vayu and she shoots at the eagle. But before the arrow can hit the eagle, Mahisha turns into a poisonous snake on the ground, and it strikes like a cobra at the feet of Durga. But Durga jumps in the air, and with the sword of Skanda, she swipes at the snake. But the snake becomes a rabbit and runs away, and then turns into a giant lion. And the lion swipes his claws at Durga, but Durga uses the war mace of Ganesh to bat away the claws of the lion. And then Mahisha, he turns into 100 different creatures, dragons, chimeras, dangerous hippopotamuses, mean boxing kangaroos, all kinds of creatures. And each time Durga, with one of her weapons or more, she defeats or avoids or parries or blocks or riposts back at Mahisha, forcing him to change into something to escape. The battle goes on for hours. It is very closely matched. But Mahisha has not been able to scratch Durga, not even to dishevel her sari, unlike Sister Boonity, who has to keep redoing her sari. Sorry for the interruption. I know, that was so wrong. Finally, they are squared off against each other. The plain is filled with dust from the battle. And Mahisha turns into a giant buffalo. Not the kind we have in the United States, the kind in India, which is like a bull with big, sharp horns. And the buffalo, or like bull, paws the earth twice. And he dashes at Durga. He is going to bowl her over. He's going to smack her and skewer her on his horns. He's going to rip her guts out by goring her with the horns. He's going 30 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. Durga stands on the back of the tiger. Her weapons poised in the air, but not moving. And with one hand, the hand that has the cup of Kubera, she brings the golden cup to her lips. And as the buffalo is 10 feet away, she sips the Amrit from the golden cup of Kubera. And then leaps into the air, somersaults through the air, and lands on the back of Mahisha, the great bull. And she takes the sword of Skanda and she sticks it into the side of the bull. But Mahisha turns from the bull into a great hero, a great warrior. And so the sword only sticks the skin of the bull, but the warrior is wriggling out of the mouth of the bull to then attack Durga as a warrior, but he's not fully out yet when Durga takes the trident of Shiva and jams it down on the neck of the buffalo, trapping the warrior halfway in and halfway out of the skin of the buffalo. With the sword of Skanda and the trident of Shiva holding Mahisha in place, she takes the sword and swings it low and lops off the head of the demon. He is dead. Durga supreme. Now, I hear you ask. I hear you praying to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, you granted a boon to Mahisha. He could not be killed by demon, man, or God. What has happened? You know what Brahma says to you. Durga is not a demon. Durga is not a man. She is a woman. Durga is not a god. She is the goddess. I never said he could not be killed by the Shakti. Stupid demon. Should have stayed meditating and risen above the desire for the three worlds. Brahma's such a jokester. It was not a scary story for Halloween, but it was a fierce story for Halloween. And in the world of today, fierce is maybe what we need more than scary. Remember, after the ghosts and the vampires and the werewolves have gone home, the next thing that is important is to honor ancestors in Mexico, to honor veterans, to change your clock back Saturday night, Sunday morning, and then to vote. You must vote. If you are in a state where you are quite sure that your party has no problem winning the election, still vote. Because we have learned from past elections, 2022, for example, the Democrats did very well. The Republicans did not do so well, except the Republicans were able to take the House of Representatives from the Democrats in a very Democrat year. Why? Because Democrats in California and in New York stayed home, thought it was a short thing. And so congressional districts in those states went to Republicans because Democrats did not show up in large numbers. Already, I cannot endorse any party or any candidate. I represent a nonprofit. So IRS doesn't let me tell you who to vote for. I merely state history as example to get you to vote for whoever your candidate may be. Example, the California and New York. The numbers in California right now, 15% of voters already voting for one particular party, which is very alarming for the people in that party nationally. You guess which party? I cannot say. I don't endorse. But the voter turnout in California and New York is low. So if you care about your election, get everyone to vote. Talk it up. I only say this because that which is Sister Boonity prefers not to go to prison or to be beaten or killed because he is Sister Boonity. Save my life. What? How's that for a scary Halloween story? Well, it is now time to say goodbye. Thank you, Tom, for voting. Voting. I forget my accent. Thank you for voting. Very good on you, Tom. It is time for this spirit to fade back into the closet. Not that closet, the one that I put the costumes in. I will see you again next year. But remember, if you ever miss the spookiness of Sister Boonity, I'm on Instagram and YouTube. This is recorded. You can just save it. Thank you for spending Halloween with me. I'm too old to go out into the crowds, so I do this. And I only have a Halloween because you are here to have Halloween with me. Now the final bit of Diwali. I will chant the goddess's mantras of perfection. They say, this is perfect. That is perfect. From the perfect comes the perfect. If you take the perfect away from the perfect remains. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Shubh Diwali, Shubh Deepavali. And may these mantras and the auspicious Goddess Lakshmi be like the crow crowing at sunrise on the morning after Hallows Eve. But for a few hours yet, look out for the ghosts. Boo! 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 How do you turn this off? Oh, yeah. Boo! Boo tube.